Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Saturday to you all. Hopefully, your weekend is going nicely. Happy June 1st to you all. Can you believe it? We are already in the month of June. Can you believe it indeed? We've got a little bit of an interesting start to OST Saturday this week because we've run into a little bit of a situation. Long story short, unfortunately, our channel got hit with our first copyright strike, which admittedly doesn't do too much in terms of like me not being able to upload anymore and things like that, but it does put me on the radar for more scrutinized copyright and content ID checks and stuff, which most affects what we do today, OST Saturdays, because whenever we do like normal releases and stuff, studio releases, albums, MVs, it's usually only the label. But when it comes to OST Saturdays, there's usually a second party involved, or I guess in this case, a third party involved, and that's a television or a broadcasting company. They don't like this stuff. And I'm a little bit more concerned about how we're going to do this moving forward. So what we're going to do for OST Saturday this week is just do, or at least for a little while until that copyright strike clears, I think we're just going to do the YouTube Music, like, album upload of all the songs, not even risk live clips and stuff like that, just to be a little bit more safe in that regard, which is slightly unfortunate, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I think all reactors, regardless of what genre or what material we cover, do run into this issue at some point. The copyright strike clears August, I think. So it's not the longest time in the world, but we are going to have to tread a little bit more carefully. So that's what's going to happen with OST Saturday moving forward. There's also no recap episode this week because, well, I'm starting to record this at 8:40 in the evening because I was out all day. So we have got a tremendously long list of OSTs to get through this week. We've actually got a triple block of the same show. And we've also got a double of 2 solos from the same group, which I do want to talk about at some point. But on the docket this week, over there, Miss KyoungSeo, which I feel like I haven't heard from her in a hot minute in OST Saturdays. Both Yoojung and Suyeon from Weki Meki, who I just noticed that there's no space between Jooyoung's Weki Meki, but that's besides the point. I'll touch on Weki Meki later down the road. MJ from ASTRO, Wonpil of Day 6, which will be fun because I've never had a Wonpil solo yet, at least to my knowledge. Mr. Sangyeop of Lucy, Joochan of Golden Child, again another group that I've not heard from in a hot minute, and then finishing off with a little bit of K one time, the ever reliable K out in OST. So that's all the admin stuff out of the way. Let's get started, shall we? Here we go. While that intro was rolling, I tried getting a sip of me iced tea and it went down the wrong way. So, excuse me. I can only apologize. Anyways, we have 8 songs to get through, so let's get started sharpish, shall we? Miss KyoungSeo. We had, one of her studio releases last year, and then I think an OST or 2 as well. But, jump back on board with Miss KyoungSeo. This is technically from 2 weeks ago, but since we didn't really have many OSTs drop last week, we're just doing a double block this week. So this is Asteroid from the drama Frankly Speaking. Let's jump into it. And I need to move this chair over a little bit because I think I'm not centered. She's got such a cool light voice, very easy to listen to. Ooh. Love a nice long cymbal roll like that. Ooh. Love that chromatic movement in the background too. That hook from the guitar part is very nice. It's very fitting in a weird way. It's like, it's not saying anything, but it's very appropriate for the type of song that this is giving off the impression of. Does KyoungSeo's voice give like Polbaran Satchungi vibes to anyone else? It's like, it's a little bit different, but stylistically, I hear bits and pieces of An Jin-young from Polbaran Satchungi, Bowl 4. What's really cool about her voice too is that kind of fuzzy vocal call of hers remains across the board. I think that's so cool. I can't get that hook. I can't get that guitar hook out of my head. It's so nice. It's such a simple thing, but there is this really interesting brightness that it adds, that really the guitar part is the only thing that it could do. Right? I think that's the right way I'm trying to say it. It's like, you only get that color because the guitar is doing it. That's what I'm trying to explain. And I love it. I love what it adds, because it's almost like... This happens sometimes in B-sides and stuff that we've covered, but whenever you get like a secondary vocal, it sometimes is treated as another instrument instead of another vocal part. For me, the guitar part in Asteroid is almost like a background vocal part that's being done by an instrument. It's not an instrumental section that's being played by an instrument, and I think that is really cool to me, because the final product of it has, you know, that double movement in the melodic section, but one is technically an instrument. And there's just the balance of it, and the color that it adds is really good for me. Oh, really good way to start. I reckon we'll probably keep most of the waffling about these songs pretty short, just because we have 8 songs to get to, so let's keep her moving one time, but we're already off to a great start. I like it a lot. Right, welcome to the Dare to Love Me block. We have 3 consecutive songs for this drama, and then also, welcome to the Weki Meki block, because we have a double dose of Weki Meki, who I said I was going to explain. I was eating dinner a little while ago. I was browsing through Reddit, and I've had to go and find this again. But Wonpil uploaded their comeback lineup kind of schedule on social media and stuff. Let me actually... Let's see if y'all can see this or not. What? Do my eyes deceive me, or does that not say Weki Meki in the and more section? Weki Meki comeback on the horizon? That... I want you all to know just how much of a monumental moment this is. Like, Weki Meki having a comeback for the first time in nearly 3 years is bonkers to me. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like August when Weki Meki had Siesta, right? Weki Meki's I Am Me was... Oh, it was November, so 2.5 years ago. Same difference. Weki Meki has not had a group activity in 2.5 years. They are, I think, in terms of like somewhat recently active 4th gen, late 3rd, early 4th gen girl groups, they have the longest, or one of the longest hiatuses in between releases. If you don't account for, like, second gen groups that never had an official disbandment notice. Kind of like my beloved lovelies. But Weki Meki on a comeback calendar is crazy. It's something that I have been repeatedly begging for. You know exactly, if you've been following, especially on the OST Saturday front, because that's the only place where Weki Meki has made an appearance on the channel, you know every single time whenever there's a Weki Meki release that I rant and rave about the fact that we haven't had a Weki Meki comeback in an eternity. Hopefully, the fact that they are on the One the Case comeback schedule means that we're gonna get just any kind of Weki Meki music in the next 30 days or so. Oh, if that's the case, June is gonna be one hell of a month for comebacks. Or just on the fact that Weki Meki have a comeback already makes it a month. But you know what? I'm gonna chapter that differently, so you don't have to deal with that for too long. Let's jump into it. Next song, I Hope, by Miss Yoojung of Weki Meki for the drama Dare to Love Me. Like I mentioned earlier, we have got a triple block of songs from Dare to Love Me, and then 2 consecutive songs from members of Weki Meki, hence the whole Weki Meki rant that I just went on. Let's get into it. Very soft piano. It's almost... It wasn't free meter for a second. It's a song in 6/8 too. Ooh. Usually breaking up the low vocal chops. Hold on a second. Notice the natural swing a song in 3 has. What a release, hello! Wow! It's got this big orchestral element, but it also has a really nice band element to it too. Just really nice. It's a really cool balance. Cool addition of the electric bass. Notice how the band section, in terms of its volume, stays pretty consistent. I mean, sure, it increases in volume for the chorus, but the string section kind of pulsates. It's the nature of the instruments, because the electric instruments put out volume through a current. Acoustic instruments is done by the chamber of the instrument itself. You get more kind of intimate volume control, so to speak. But the combination of it is gorgeous. Ooh. Oh, it's very tasty. Bridge, hold on a second. Sustain. bookending it with the reed flute. Oh, hold on, there's a lot more left. Ah, the final chord. Nice. That's really cool. In a weird way, this doesn't give me drama OST vibes. This gives me more film. It's really dramatic, but also very pretty. And when it comes to drama OSTs, especially K-drama OSTs, just from having listened to, I don't know, however many hundred of these over the course of the past year and a half, you start to pick up on patterns, and with kind of how my brain works, I can roughly piece together kind of like a mental image of how this song would be used in the context of the show. So, like, say you have a really sappy romantic ballad, it's probably going to be when there's, you know, maybe a confession was just had, or there's been a romantic breakup and your two main players in the former relationship are having their emotional moment in their own respective private spaces. You can kind of mentally start imagining where songs would go. With I Hope, I don't get a mental image, but for me, it's like a conclusion of a story in a way. And for me, this song pairs so well with rolling credits. I don't know why, but it's very pretty, and it's got a lot going for it that I like. It's got, of course, the orchestral element. I'm a violin player, not by trade, but I played it growing up. Haven't played it about 5 years or so, but playing an orchestra is one of my favorite hobbies that I used to do alongside. If I could incorporate it into my studies, even better. The electric instruments, I think the band element is so well balanced for a song of this nature, because an orchestral instrumental section very much sets a tone of what the song is going to sound like, but the band section never gets in the way of it and doesn't steer it in the wrong direction. And then you have Yoojung's vocals, who, admittedly, she's never been like power vocal territory, but she's always had a really good grasp on where her vocal needs to be on a song, especially in the OST realm. And once again, this is another proof of that. And the overall just package of it, especially when you get it in a nice 6/8 time measure, it's got this nice movement to it. The song is so dynamic in that it continues to evolve in terms of the volume. Like, it'll swell and then it'll like retract on itself, and then it'll have a huge jump and then drop back down. And there's just movement everywhere, and it's so tastefully done. Oof. And I'll save you all a second dose of the Weki Meki rant, because we get one more Weki Meki OST coming courtesy of Miss Suyeon, Miss Leader Suyeon one time. She made one of my favorite OSTs last year. I've forgotten the name. I think it was like Trapped in a Cartoon or something like that was the name of the show. It had a saxophone solo in it, and it was really good. In fact, it had 2 saxophone solos in it. It was a very good song indeed. But she is back with the song I Will Let You Go, once again for drama Dare to Love Me. So let's get into it. Now, this vocally is going to be very different, I reckon, just knowing what Suyeon is capable of. Another string heavy song though. Slow song, lots of reverb, acoustic instruments. It's growing. Let it grow. Stylistically, there's actually quite a few similarities between the Yoojung one we just listened to It's got the band beat to it, it's got the swelling strings. It's just this one's in 4 and it's meant to be a slower ballad. Oh, that chord sequence was gorge. Can we get that again? The little wailing guitar as a transition too. Sorry, I'm getting lost in the sauce, but it's very good. Oh, we got some sharp movement in the string sections too. Ooh. This is a song that I see myself very clearly playing in the orchestra that produces this. The sustained chord into the major. Hello, glissando. Oh, get the cellos involved now? And Suyeon's found that high gear when it comes to the vocals too. Bring it back down. Suyeon is an underrated OST artist. We've had a couple of her OSTs over the course of the last year and a half. All of them have been terrific, but her voice is just so nice for it. Especially on a song like this, too, that lets her really just grow into the song the way that she did. Oh. This one, for me, definitely paints a little bit more of a clearer image. I think the album art is very appropriate for this type of song. You can almost hear the rain in the background, right? When the song starts with that really soft nature and you can get that reverb in the background, the reverb effect, it sounds kind of like there's constant white noise in the background that could be rain hitting the pavement. This, again, could just be my very creative mind working overtime, but I like to think that that creative mind is actually useful in certain applications. But that string section. Oh, that string section. And I know I'm gonna say it again. I am coming from a very biased point of view in that regard because I grew up playing violin. But for me, I'll Let You Go encapsulates the magic and the glory and the power of the string orchestra. There's just something that is so pretty, yet so emotionally captivating about a string orchestra, at least for me, that just sucks me right in, to the point where I definitely forgot to say anything in like the middle block of the song. But you know what? If I can get lost in the sauce that quickly like that, gets the stamp of approval from me. And, well, we have our one final song from the show, Dare to Love Me. This is Mr. MJ of ASTRO with the song One Last Dream. I say this with a lot of the ASTRO releases we come across, because weirdly we do come across quite a few ASTRO-related OSTs. I don't know this group, really. Like, in terms of ASTRO, like, music that I know maybe 2 B-sides, and the subunit releases that we've gotten so far. So like we checked out Madness with Moonbin and Sana when that released last year. I remember coming home from a job interview, and I was in my like button down and stuff, and I remember watching it. Rest in peace, Moonbin. I miss you dearly. And we also, well, we didn't do it on camera, but Jinjin and Rocky's Just Breathe was one of my boy group releases of the year that year in 2022. And well, we've had, Umu and we've had Rocky stuff, so. MJ, let's check in with you, buddy. Let's go. It's another song in 3. Or if you want to meet in the middle, we'll call it 12/8. 1, 2, 3. The pulsing piano is really interesting. Hello, string section. Also, Dare to Love Me is 3 for 3 in this string meets band sound signature. Is this the kind of sound we're gonna get from this show? That sustain there, you could almost feel like an emotional crack in his voice. That was really cool. Ooh, that sustain pedal was putting in work. But yeah, this show, the fact that we've gone 3 songs in a row with this type of sound is no longer a coincidence if it happens 3 times. That's really cool, because I can look out for the show moving forward now. Hi, glissando! Got another string glissando. I'm very happy today. This section of the chorus reminds me of a Day 6 song. It's just that section though, because from here, yeah, MJ adds emotion into the second half of the chorus, and it's very effective. Dramatic switch up in the instrumental there. You all are hearing this, right? The way that MJ is just loading the emotion into his voice in the latter end of that chorus. Let it fade away. Let it fade away. That is magnificent. And honestly, this show is 3 for 3 when it comes to just absolutely magnificently pretty OST songs. Wow. Honestly though, MJ's voice, like, with Yoojung's and Suyeon's songs, for me, it was like everything put together, the instruments with the vocals. For me, this song, what sells it for me is MJ. And this isn't in any way like putting down the Weemy members that we just covered, but the way MJ loads emotion into his voice, it's like he's managed to weaponize emotional value and somehow weave it into his singing voice. Because my god, like, you could feel the rawness of the emotion of whatever is happening on screen that this song is being paired with, and it's portrayed so well through his voice. I cannot emphasize enough just how impressive that is. And not to toot my own horn or anything, but I like to think I'm very well versed in the ballad genre because it is one of my favorites in terms of just the listening experience of a ballad is so good. It's so healing. The reason why I love ballads so much is because I find them very cathartic to listen to. When I'm in a really down in the dumps mood, if I listen to a really sappy OST song or a really sappy drama in particular, no, really sappy ballad from a drama in particular, I go through a cycle of I'm down in the dumps. I hear a really emotional ballad. I get even further into the dumps. Sometimes I might cry my eyes out. But you know what? I'm not afraid to admit it. I've cried to many a ballad in my day. But at the end of that listening experience, I come out the other side feeling oddly refreshed. One Last Dream is very much gonna do that for me. This will make it onto the Therapeutic Ballads playlist, no question. Although I do find the Day 6 connection that I mentioned very interesting, because the melody is essentially, I don't want to call it the same because it's not, but it's very similar to, I think it's Day 6's 예뻐서. 너와 나를 예뻐서 너와 나를 Yeah, so instead, I mean, One Last Dream is written in 3, so the rhythm is going to be different, but the notes used in the melody is the same as that first little chunk of the chorus in Day 6's You Were Pretty, or 예뻐서, which is very cool because it's a very nice melody. I highly approve of that. Oh, speaking of Day 6, hi Wonpil. Wonpil from Day 6. I'm pretty sure this will be my first solo Wonpil release I listened to on camera. We may have done an OST in the last little while since Welcome to the Show and the Forever album that dropped. My memory is not coming to me, but Wonpil, tremendous voice, very unique voice at that too. And well, he's done a song for the webtoon Not So Fairy Tale simply titled After. So here we go. As I blow my nose very quickly. Excuse me. 어떤 건지 몰랐어. 떠난다는 건 늘 창밖을 보는 excuse me. But we're already off to a great start. We've got a band-based song. That walking, chugging. I reckon this song might cook a little bit. Hold on. Marching band snares. I guess it's this way from the snare. And that's where the full release comes in. Oh, that's very cool. God. Man, Wonpil's voice is really good. Because I'm pretty new to Day 6 as a whole, like I've always said that I'm a big advocate for the K-band, but you know, I got into the genre when Day 6 really weren't active, so I never really got a chance to enjoy Day 6 and the wonder that is the music that they produce until this year. But the more I listen to Day 6, the more I'm impressed. This is really interesting the way they do this release, because this feels like a release already with this drumline snare. Because the guitar's up, it's big, the vocals are up, but way to make me look stupid, Wonpil. So we're just gonna go straight into the bridge instead of having that extended chorus. Okay. This is where the band release comes in. Okay. I don't know. I feel like that section of the chorus is just asking for a call and response section. It feels fitting, doesn't it? Just me? I don't know. I do like a little call and response, so maybe that's why, but... And then the floor toms to finish. Ooh. That's quite an impactful OST piece, isn't it? And I feel like a broken record at this point, but I never quite understood a webtoon having a soundtrack, just because I grew up on printed manga. But you know what? Some of my favorite OSTs have been from webtoons, so I'm just gonna stop questioning it and just enjoy for what it is, just really good music. And this, once again, is really good music. It's got the K-band element, yes, I'm already on board with that. It's got the really good Wonpil vocal, I'm already on board with that. But it's better than anything I could have imagined this would be. And that chorus is so unique to me. Because typically when you get a two-stage chorus like that, where you get a delayed drop that's that much later than when the chorus actually starts, it's usually more noticeable. Like songs that have a very clear anti-drop, it's very clear that there's an anti-drop. Where the drop should be, it's very much devoid of that, and you know that it's coming up later. With this, the first release very much feels like a full-on chorus release, except for the fact that you've got that moving drumline like snare part, because that doesn't really feel like a full release. At least for me, hearing a drumline snare like that indicates growth. It means the song is gonna keep growing, and well, in this case, that's very much true. Because once the rolling snare goes away, then the full band kicks in, and that is like the pinnacle of the release in the song. But that first initial hit very well could be a chorus release on its own, and I think that's really unique, because that doesn't really happen a whole lot on two-stage choruses. It's more noticeable, that difference. You don't really get a whole lot of it. It's just that one drum part too, and maybe more broader guitars second time around, but that's very cool. And I'm never going to complain about hearing any of the Day 6 members sing, really, at this point, so... This has been a terrific week for OSTs. And, well, I wonder if we're going to keep her moving, because, well, we get another K-band related release, because Mr. Sangyeop of Lucy has yet another OST. This time for, let's see, High School Return of a Gangster. What a title for a drama, The title alone has me very curious, but this is a song simply titled Go. Here we go. It chugs already. I hope. If you're at all familiar with Lucy, you know exactly what Sangyeop is capable of vocally. He's very much in his element. Oh yeah, this definitely chugs. Really cool that we're getting both synth and guitar on this melody part throughout the song. Once again, it's a song with a really good hook. Kind of like with the KyoungSeo song from earlier. But yeah, it's very much got everything I love about the K-band, or like the band setup in the music. Also, the shouty go ad-libs is really cool touch. And it's got so much reverb on it, but it's the only thing that has reverb. There's something so satisfying to listen to about a guitar wail like that. Oh, just hold it off for the first four, okay. Hello, guitar solo. Oh, it ends so abruptly. I wish we got like just one big final chord at the end, but ooh, it rips a lot. It's very good. It's very good. It has so many things that I love. It's got such a nice pace to it. It's heavy, but it's bright. You get Yoop on vocals just flying high. He's got a very distinct vocal color. Kind of, well, both, if we're, you know, treating this as a little K-band block, both Wonpil and Sangyeop have a very distinctly, almost sharp vocal color. Both very treble, heavy voices. For me, though, both Wonpil and Sangyeop songs are very much reflective of how I love hearing their voices. For me, I love Sangyeop's voice on a really just high energy, little crunchy rock song like this. I love Wonpil on a really pretty song. So it's kind of, they both played to their strengths for me, from my point of view, and I love that. Oh, man. I wonder if we're going to get new Lucy music soon. Because we've done a couple of OSTs from Sangyeop already this year. Just very interesting, but that one I might put that on. I might put both Sangyeop and Wonpil's one on the list at the end of the day. They're really good. Like, let's keep her moving. Joochan, Mr. Joochan from Golden Child, who is another artist who we have not heard from in a hot minute. I mean, like, not as long as Weki Meki, but, you know, last release they had was Feel Me, which was last year, right when Tail came back, right? I believe Y is still serving. My boy, Y, I miss you. But Mr. Joochan got a solo OST for Missing Crown Prince with the song Starry in the Night. Let's get into it. Wide variety in songs today.
가끔은 생각이 나 별거 없지만 아름답던 추억 너라서 모든 것이 좋았던 우리만의 배경이 된 그곳 별빛이 내린 밤에 손끝에 닿는 바람 왼손엔 꼭 잡은 두 손 밤새도록 안고서 완벽히 행복했던 날 별 하나에 약속했었던 그 밤
Wow, Joochan's voice sparkles on this. It almost reminds me of The Boys is New in the way that his voice has this nice treble sparkle to it. Ooh. Oh, that's very pretty. And the fact that the instrumental kind of stays within this very minimal structure. Appreciate the fact that even though the song does have significant growth in that chorus, it's still Joochan front and center. Long hold. Yeah, even when the song has such a pronounced growth like that, Joochan's voice is still the clearest thing for me, because it's right in front. Wow, that's very pretty. That's very, very, very pretty. Genuinely, this is such a good block of OSTs that we're listening to today, but Joochan-y, okay. That's terrific. And yeah, it's such a pretty song, but it still allows me to thoroughly enjoy Joochan's vocals, which is, admittedly, I'm not the most well-versed person when it comes to Joochan. Not even close. I know maybe 5 songs by them, and I can confidently name 3 members. 2.5 on a bad day. Joochan is not one of those people that I can recognize immediately. I can now, because that's really good. His voice is so nice. So much nice treble in it. And when he gets up there in his vocal register and he kind of puts the hammer down, he picks up a little bit of like a fuzz in his vocal color that is just oh so charming. And what reminds me a little bit of New from The Boys is he also has that distinct vocal color change. It's the further he goes up in his vocal register and more power he puts into it. But for me, what amazes me about Joochan's voice and what really works about this song is he's got that treble heavy, nice high voice, but it's not like the loudest voice in the world, and he's got a voice that doesn't like resonate with a whole lot of power. And yet, even when the song really put its foot down and gave it the beans in the electric instrumentation section, it was still Joochan cut so clear through the song. That's very well made. But also, the combination of the acoustic piano with the electric guitar playing the instrumental melody is a really cool touch, because you get the big broad hits from the electric guitar, but you get the sharpness, the conciseness, the precision of the piano hits as well. And that combination is so profound when I listen to it. And then you pair it with Joochan's voice, and it's just, ooh, chef's kiss. Ooh. Right, let's finish strong. Miss K. The ever reliable Miss K and her solo music. We cover her a lot on OST Saturdays. In fact, I'm pretty sure K is one of the most covered artists here on the OST Saturdays series, alongside like maybe KyoungSeo from B2B. Yeah, I'd probably say if we're talking specifically like soloists or like individual artists, K and KyoungSeo from the K-pop world, from like bigger groups and stuff, is probably the most covered, with good reason, because K's voice is tremendous. So this is the song Falling for Drama Dreaming of a Freaking Fairy Tale. What a title. Alright, here we go. Let's finish strong. It's a little bit cute. I'm weirdly getting Lovely's vibes, and that's kind of scaring me. And it's not just because, you know, this is Casey and she's part of Lovely's. This very much feels like a Lovely's song right now, and that's weirding me out. That's nice. That's very nice. Else getting Lovely's vibes from this, or is it just me? Is it just me just desperately missing Lovely's making music together? I guess it needs more strings to be Lovely's, doesn't it? One thing the song does very well, though, is the pacing of it. It's bright. It's easy for a song to get too bright and too fast. It never feels like that. It's very well controlled. This song is also one handbell section away from being very Christmassy. I don't know why my brain went to that, but... again, the pacing thing, it's a very bright, very light chorus, but they slow it down immediately afterwards, whether it's a verse or a bridge. This is just K in her element, honestly. For me, as someone who's listened to K for a very long time now, this is her in her element. I guess that's where we're gonna cut it off, but yeah. It's always great when we get a K OST because she's one of like the ever reliable artists in this series for me, because her voice just works for so many different genres of music, whether it's on her own or in a duet, whether it's a drama OST, a solo release, or whenever she's doing musical theater. Her voice just suits the occasion so well, and she's got such a distinct voice too that if you know who's singing, you know or if you know her voice, you know immediately that you've got a K song that's playing right now. And it's just this is a comfort song for me, weirdly, because it's got that nostalgic feeling a la Lovely's era. It's bright, it's light, it's very happy, it's very warm, it's a very inviting song for me. And it's one of those songs where I can listen to it in such a carefree manner and still enjoy it exactly the same way the first time, just swaying back and forth, with a smile on my face. It's warm, it's bright, it's happy, and it's everything I could ask for in an OST like this. Like I mentioned earlier, I love a good sappy OST, but I love a good bright one too. Hand on heart, this might be my favorite block of OSTs we've covered this year. We've had some good OSTs this year, but if we're talking from an overall, like, from beginning to end run of OSTs, this might be my favorite week this year. It's so good. You got so much different variety. You got the sappy and slow, you got the bright and happy, you got the kind of crunchy and hard, and it's all of these. And you know, had I not done OST Saturdays, all of these songs probably would have been swept under the rug unless I was like a hardcore fan of one of the artists on here. In Japanese we call it Nekkyo teki fan, so like extreme, almost borderline obsessive fan. These would have gotten swept under the rug, like a lot of OSTs, and that's why we do OST Saturdays here, because OSTs have a hidden magic that not many people experience. Case in point, this entire week, or this entire 2 weeks worth of OSTs that we covered. Spectacularo. I can't pick a favorite out of this. I genuinely cannot pick a favorite. I love all of them. I'm gonna playlist all of these. A lot of these might make the list come the end of the year, and that's saying something. So, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but that is where I am going to wrap it up for this week's rendition of OST Saturdays. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last admin thing before we do the whole finishing message thing. No recap for this week, just because I'm going to try and figure out what the best way to approach the misreleases are in terms of copyright strike avoidance. Because, well, we're at 1 of 3. We have 2 more to spare. But considering the video that got flagged is from midsummer last year, there's a chance that, you know, with how we approach things here, that we could get another retrospective strike on the channel. And I want to avoid that as much as possible. So we may slow down OST Saturdays fractionally in the coming months, but do bear with me. And yes, as usual, one last request from me today. Let's work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be, you know, checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day to day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy in the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.